Good morning. May I request everyone to please settle down? We are about to begin. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Maratha Chamber of Commerce, Industries and Agriculture, I, Madhura, take absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the MCCI HR Tech Conclave 2025 Technology Advantage for Business Growth. In an era where digital acceleration is redefining workplaces, the right technology isn't just an advantage, it is a necessity. Today, over the course of this event, we will discover strategies that empower organizations to thrive in the future of work. May I please invite the dignitaries to take their seats on the stage, please? Mr. Arvind Goel, Mr. Sanjay Kirloskar, Mr. Prashant Girbane, and Dr. Nidhi Dhanju. Please join me on the stage. Request everyone to please welcome our guests with a round of applause. Thank you. I now request Mr. Prashant Girbane, Director General MCCI, to please present his opening remarks.
Thank you. सर्वप्रथम आपल्या सर्वांचं स्वागत आहे. Welcome to each and every one of you. I think through the day you would get to hear a lot about HR and HR tech. So the best I can do is to avoid talking about it because you get to hear a lot anyway. The session itself would talk a lot more about the chairman's and managing directors and CEOs' expectations from HR. So two of the stalwarts would talk about that. How the day would be, Dr. Nidhi Dhanju would talk about it. Now that I'm here, I must talk about something. So I'll talk about MCCI. That's easy for me to talk about. And I'll just take about 5 minutes of your time and about 5 slides to cover something about MCCI, which is where we are here today. Do we have the presentation ready? All right, thank you. What activities have we done? What is it that we do? The chamber that was established in 1934. Some of you might say, I already know, but good things we should repeat. No harm in repeating them. 1934, the chamber was established. Over little more than 90 years now, there are more than 2,500 members in and around Pune and many other districts. Thanks to the president, the board, the council of past presidents, the committee chairs, my colleagues, we have done some wonderful things. Actually, our members tell us these are wonderful things. We'll just present them to you. There are lots of areas of improvement that I'm not presenting today, which we'll continue to work on. But 5 things out of many other things that are working. Just 5 so that we briefly cover it in 5 minutes. First, there was a RAMP program, which was a capability building program started by Government of India and World Bank. Over the last 1 year, we have reached 88 years. For the first 88 years, we were in 2 districts, Pune and Ahilanagar. This year, we have reached each of the 36 districts. And you can see on your screens the number of MSMEs that we have covered by training them in one area or another over all those 36 districts. There is no quiz, but you should know where Nandurbar is. You should know where Dharashiv is. You should know where Gadchiroli is. We just don't know where it is, but our colleagues have gone all the way there and conducted the programs. And that's thanks to all of you as members as well who contribute in making Chamber what it is today. We should take pride in the fact that there are 1,000 chambers of commerce in the entire country, or more than that maybe. We would be one of the top 3 chambers that would have covered more than 10,000 MSMEs in just 1 year. We would be the only chamber of commerce that has covered every district of the state. of a major state like Maharashtra. The second is we have started a helpline. Any MSME from anywhere in Maharashtra can give us a call, or there would be a video recording of the conversation. They raise a question on any of the topics that we have listed and more. Somebody wants to get registered on GEM portal. Somebody wants to understand how do I do marketing. Someone wants to have a facing issue, an import and export want understanding. We have list of 30 experts. Within 24 hours, we connect the caller, and we have done it 650 times so far in the last 3 months. And the expert would advise, and the call goes between 35 to 60 minutes. Each call is recorded, and the feedback taken right away after the call. When we presented this to Government of India, they were so excited that they said they would want to implement it everywhere in the country. This is what your chamber initiated in the last 3 months. That's what the nation wants to not just know, wants to implement it. And that's the beauty of what we all would collectively continue to do here. Third, a colleague of mine who is in mid-20s, she asked me a question, what is it that she would do through the year? I said, what is it that you would want to do? She said, something in AI. I said, look, I don't know what is it that we do in AI, because we don't sell a product, we don't sell anything as chamber. But we have our companies who might need help. This colleague of mine in mid-20s with 6-7 months experience then, now 18 months, 17-18 months experience, she went to 12 districts, covered 1006 MSMEs, and told them what AI can do for them. Here are some interesting examples. Somebody from Sangli is telling, AI has increased content production speed up by 7 times. Somebody in Karad is saying it has accelerated research by 75% on market research, that is. And Ahilyanagar, they have launched new product lines based on AI-driven research after the communication, something real, something here and now, not just 100,000 feet view on what AI can do for everyone in the country. This is what it's helping to companies whose turnover is less than 5 crore, some cases less than 1 crore. This is how we'll democratize it step at a time. 2 more slides to go. We understand that there are good and great management schools in the country, but most of the people from those schools would want to go, and understandably and rightfully would want to work for larger companies, and that's fine and that's good. Nothing wrong in it. But we would also need managerial talent for MSMEs. How do we get it? We wait for decades for it to develop. Now, on one hand, we keep talking about 1/3 of our GDP comes from MSMEs, 11 crore plus jobs from MSMEs, 45% exports from MSMEs. But what's happening to the managerial cadre there? As large companies, understandably and rightfully, you also tell MSMEs on how is it that they should improve quality of products that they sell, the input that they should have in terms of the raw material. But rarely does one get to telling what's the management cadre that they should have. To create a managerial cadre for MSMEs, to help them create and develop it and accelerate it, we have this management development program just for MSMEs. 6 months ago, we started this. About 70 different individuals from 45 companies benefited from this. We'll start the next batch again in 17th of May. The idea is to continue to create this managerial cadre so that over the next 3-4 years, we have about 1,000 such managers who are alumni of this, and we'll continue to train them so that we accelerate the process. That's the goal. The last bit that I have, the capability building program that we run through the year, this is not the ramp, this is in addition to that. 100 total events happened. That wasn't the goal. The goal was more like 104, because everything we tried to multiply with 52 for some reason. 100 of those we could do. 1,600 unique organizations benefited from this. I would positively and humbly challenge, show me another chamber of commerce that has 1,600, forget about the 13,000, is trying to help 1,600 unique organizations in conducting one program or another. 3,629 participants benefited from it. Having said all of this, we have lots of areas of improvement. Many we know, and some we may not even know. We'll continue to learn, we'll continue to ask, we'll continue to check. There is a whole lot more to do, but we thought we'll give you a quick glimpse of what's happening at your chamber that you are a member of. Today is the day to talk about the expectations of the chairperson, the MD, CEO from HR, to hear from Dr. Nidhi Dhanju about how the day is shaped and her views on how technology is being used in HR, and through the day, various sessions. I'm excited to hear it all. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Madhura. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. MCCI indeed has something for each one of us in this room. As a token of gratitude to our today's guest, may I request Mr. Sanjay Kirloskar, President MCCI, to please felicitate Mr. Arvind Goel. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce our chief guest today, Mr. Arvind Goel, Chairman of Tata Autocom Systems Limited and Vice President MCCIA. With over 4 decades of experience in the automotive industry, Mr. Goel has been instrumental in expanding Tata Autocom's global footprint. Prior to his tenure at Tata Autocom, he held leadership positions at MAN Trucks, Force Motors, Bajaj Tempo, and Kirloskar Oil Engines. A distinguished leader, Mr. Goel has been honored with several prestigious awards, including India's Most Inspirational Leader 2020 and Auto Component Leader of the Year 2021. Sir, we are honored to have you with us today. May I request to please address the audience?
Good morning. It gives me a great pleasure to talk to all of you on what the HR should do on the technology side. And certainly, Sanjay Kirloskar and all, they are much more experts. But I will say what we have been doing. Before starting my talk, I would say what we do in TACO is we have converted all HR people coming from operations. And I always felt that they should be very close because we are a manufacturing company. So we need a lot of workers. And so they should be very closely associated in the plants. So many of our HR leaders within all the companies come out of operations. Second thing which I want to say, many times the HR leaders think that innovation is really meant for engineers and innovation is really a product what you develop and which you can sell. There's so much innovation which can be done by the HR fraternity is actually mind-boggling. Just to tell you, more than 100 years back, Tata Group invented so many HR stuff which is the whole of the country uses and some of them the whole world uses. To start with, more than 100 years back, 8 hours work for a workman per day was invented when the world was having slavery. It's more than 120 years back when the founders said that it has to be 8 hours work, equal pay for women. And a lot of us, we get provident fund or gratuities. These are all inventions of Tata Group HR fraternity, and which later on became a law. Even the CSR law, which came into existence about 10, 12 years back, is an invention of Tata Group almost 75 years back, when each company was actually asked to put so much money minimum out of their profits. So the point is, there is so much invention or the innovation which can be done by HR. So don't leave it only to engineers. I think there is a lot of work which HR can do. Where is your slide? The topic which I was told was the HR on technology side, what we are doing and what some of things which I'm saying we have not yet completed. We are on the journey. Some of the other Tata companies have done it. We are trying to copy from them. Some we have already done. So we have impact of digital on HR function is what we did. Certainly, many people do on the they implement SAP, so there is a HR portal on SAP. A lot of companies do that. That is, I would say, just a basic foundation. But we have converted complete digitally from recruitment to onboarding talent, employee engagement, workforce planning, because the schedules keep changing a lot from the OEMs. In festival time, the schedules are much higher. So everything is digitally worked out rather than some person from the shop floor telling me this is the amount of workers he would need. And this has changed a lot, and we can preempt even with the trends of absenteeism during which festival, what sort of absenteeism will happen in your company, what sort of demand will be there. So digitally, sitting in the corporate office, the HR guys can actually plan for each of our plants what sort of manpower they would need, and then they can streamline the recruitment processes. We have about 70 plants all over the world, and so they can actually do it even for international plants sitting out of India. We have implemented a lot of analytical tools. Some of those tools are available even in SAP if you have implemented, or there are many other systems, and where we can actually even capture the key talent in your company and then track how they are moving within your organization and what exactly is happening in each of your plants, so that you are aware remotely sitting in the corporate whether the his movement or growth in the company is happening as per your plan. Otherwise, attrition will be there everywhere. But the point is, the key talent should not leave. Every company will have, say, 10% as his key talent. And that's how we track. We track not only officers, we also track workers, because especially on the new technologies, when the competitor is coming, he's also interested to pick your workers as such. Because if you go into electric vehicle or hydrogen or fuel cells, where competitors also have to start from scratch, so you can actually use some of these digital tools. Employee engagement experience, like chatbot, what Prashant just mentioned about Maratha Chambers have done. You can actually do this, and especially for workers, it is very important, and also for people who have joined new in your company. People who are there for 5-10 years, they know most of the stuff, but the new joinees becomes much more easier. And this can be converted into various languages, because you will have plants in south or in Gujarat or in northern India, and so you need to have in different languages what you can do. And how this helps your company, you can actually monitor in a structured manner, and uh, and it can be then personalized to a great extent, by so that the engagement improves. And also on CSR, where Sonali Deshpande is there. She is a great foundation from created for Persistent. What we have now done is CSR also we have put it on a digital platform. Like we do at least 6 times in a year some big sports for PWD, the handicapped people. I have now found whenever it is put on digital, we say that 100 participants are participating to on so and so date. With each participant, I want 2 employees to run or climb mountain or cycle or whatever sports we have. Now I find that within 2 hours it is booked. So if 100 people are there, 200 is booked, then people start sending requests. Sir, please allow me. I wanted to go with my wife, but it is fully booked. I said, it is all digital. You might as well book in time. So, and before we went into digital, the HR used to call, boss, 100 लोगों का है, अभी तो मेरे को 20 ही मिले हैं. Can you come? Can you come? They will keep calling so many people in the plant. Once you do a structure and create enthusiasm by digital mode. I think this works quite well. We did recently India's, actually the Asia's largest marathon for the handicap, which was also co-sponsored by Bajaj Finance in the Pune University. Marathon doesn't mean we were 42 kilometers, but a shorter marathon. It was mind-boggling. It was full. There was no place to stand in the end. That much amount of people had turned up because we are digitally connected all over the country, and so people started saying that we want to come. And then if you are digitally connected, you can see arrangement of their stay. Hundreds of things are required because they are coming from all over the country. So all that is easier possible. Otherwise, it is through Excel sheets is virtually an impossible task. Talent development, also the employee skill matrix, and people from manufacturing would know how the skill matrix for workers are made, and then you say he's not gone into next quadrant, I can shift him on these machines, etc. You can actually fully digitize it. And then if you have multiple plants and you need a specific skill in some other plant, you can actually look at it and then shift from one worker to the other. Innovation, I already spoke, and this would certainly help on the agility front as well. Hyper personalization of employee experience is day and day required, especially the new youngsters who are joining the company, and their thought process is very different. And how to attract them, how to give them, ultimately you have to build a culture out of them. In your company, age, most of the people will be below 35 years, and the new people who are coming at 22, 23 years of age, who are going to take the leadership positions in future, their continuity in the organization is important, and therefore a personalized experience is what we need to do, and they should seamlessly integrate into the company. Otherwise, especially in a large company, it takes so much of time to integrate the person that sometimes they lose interest. And so how to keep their interest live and also integrate them within the organization is very, very important. And metaverse and virtual reality, today TACO is a benchmark within the manufacturing companies, and we can always showcase to you, is the training of all workers is done by metaverse, and we have virtual reality, and complete assembly he does on virtual reality, complete safety of the company, every machine which he will operate, he knows when he puts his finger here what happens, and that's a big training cycle. And now Tata Group has opened a training institute in Bombay, which Prime Minister had inaugurated. It's their major CSR activity for the industry. It's not meant for Tata Group. So we are now trying to help from TACO how to put virtual reality into that. And the one then has to measure